Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to episode 1 of Game Talk. This basically, it's a really generic name, but that's what I'm going to be calling this series. Every episode, I'm going to just be picking 2 games to just basically talk about, give my impressions on, maybe not really reviews, but just general impressions of a game. And maybe I'll suggest it, or maybe a game that I like that I don't know if a lot of other people like. Just stuff like that. So the first episode I'm going to focus on, as you can tell by, I guess, the title of the description, I haven't decided yet. I'm going to be talking about Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which is playing right behind me, and Bulletstorm. 2 really new releases that a lot of people have checked out, probably, and I've gotten some questions asking if I've played them or not. So I've played both of them, and now I'm going to talk about them. Okay, so we'll start off with Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I have it right here on the Xbox 360. It's also available on the PS3. This is actually a rental. I'm actually going to be buying it this weekend. I traded in some games to Amazon.com. And this is just very early impressions of the game. I've played a couple matches online and a couple matches offline. And first off, the rosters aren't as great as Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That was on the Dreamcast, PS2, and Xbox. But it's still pretty, it's still pretty good. It has, the big heavy hitters from Marvel. It has Spider-Man, Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, Wolverine, and then it has, from the Capcom side of things, it has, a couple Street Fighter characters. It's got Chun-Li, it's got Ryu. It has Beautiful Joe. It has some guys from Resident Evil. I know it has Chris Redfield. There's Mega Man characters. So there's a lot of good stuff on both sides. There are some questionable omissions. I know that on the X-Men side, there's no Cyclops, which I thought was strange. But in the presentation, the game is one of the best looking games I think I've ever seen. It just blows my mind every time I pop the game in, and the colors and stuff just come right off the screen, and just for presentation alone, I think the game is worth it. If you are if you're a Marvel fan especially, a lot of people are complaining about the 2D plane and the 3D world, but I personally like it a lot. It looks a lot better than the Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but it's also 10 years older. But everything just looks very vibrant and just alive, and I really like it. I'm glad they chose to go with the Super Street Fighter 4, or Street Fighter 4 presentation. And I'm not a huge fighting fan, but this is one that you can really just pick up and play. In that sense, it doesn't mean you're going to be great if you don't learn the moves and combos and stuff like that, but you can still have fun with it. In Street Fighter 4, you have to know the combos. It's a very more not beginner friendly type game. Here you can mash some buttons together and still have some success. That's what I've been doing, and then of course you accidentally get some moves down, especially with Iron Man. I'm pretty good with Iron Man, but I don't know none of his moves, but you just keep mashing buttons together, and you're gonna hit some moves. But it's definitely still worth it to learn the combos, because you'll have a lot more success, especially online, when you use the combos. Playing offline, there's different modes. I've just stuck with the the arcade mode. I heard there's not a big story here. So I was just like, you know what, it's a fighting game, I'm just going to check out, just going to keep fighting. And, I like to change up my characters. I'm more of a Marvel guy. I like to use Wolverine, I like to use Spider-Man, Hulk, and Iron Man. Those are my guys. I've dabbled with Ryu and Chun-Li, but I still prefer the Marvel guys. I don't know why. Okay, the bread and butter of any fighting game is going to be when you play with friends or other players. So I found myself getting a little bored with just the arcade mode, which I guess is understandable. So I jumped online. I heard other people have trouble with this, and I wasn't able to find a game. It couldn't connect for some reason. It could be my internet connection, but usually I have pretty decent internet connection, and that hasn't happened before. But I got to play with Don Raiden, Cody on YouTube. And we played, I guess, about 5 or 6 matches last night, and it was perfect. It really made me love the game to the point where I'm going to be buying it this weekend. And if you have people to play it with, whether online or offline or whatever, especially friends where you can talk and just, you know, just hang out. I mean, we just talked about whatever last night, you know, the 20 minutes we played, and it's just a really fun game to just kick back with friends and play. So I mean, if you're on the fence about Marvel vs. Capcom, I can't say definitely buy it, because it does take some dedication to really to learn the combos and stuff like that. But if you like fighting games and you're looking for something new, you know, I would say there's, maybe except for Street Fighter, I don't think there's a bigger name than Marvel vs. Capcom, at least amongst real, you know, like fighting fans. You know, I guess maybe that's not true, but you know, having the two universes of Marvel and Capcom come together is always cool. You know, it may not be, I don't think it's going to have as big a legacy as Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but the third one I think definitely is a good job by Capcom, in my opinion. Okay, so moving along, you can see over my shoulder over here, Bulletstorm. It's the new game by Epic, the guys behind Gears of War 2, and now Gears of War 2, and now Gears of War 3. And if you bought this brand new, which I didn't, again, it's a rental, you got the Gears of War 3 beta, so a lot of people were pretty hyped about that. But on Bulletstorm side, I'm really lukewarm at best on this. It could be that I've just been playing a lot of shooters lately, but it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. I didn't have high expectations for it, in the sense that I wasn't really hyped for it. I thought it was going to be a good game, and it's really not a bad game, but it just doesn't do it for me. It's, you know, it touted itself on being just not an average shooter, or, you know, your run-of-the-mill shooters, but it basically is. The gimmick here is that if you perform kills in a, you know, in an off-the-wall type of way, if you get, you know, like if I shoot somebody in the head, you know, I get X amount of points. If I shoot them, you know, in the balls, I get another one, and shoot them in the ass, stuff like that. And then you're given like a whip, like to grab your enemies. You can pull them closer to you, and it kind of goes into like a slow motion type, you know, thing, and you know, you can shoot them close up. You just have to basically shoot them, kill them in ways that are different. So you can pull somebody into like a rock and they die. You pull them into like barbed wire, and every time you do it, you get different points. And then there's a whole checklist of ways you have to kill people. You unlock them throughout the game, and you know, it's pretty fun, but it kind of just gets boring, I guess, in a sense. You know, I don't know what it is. It just didn't really do it for me, and I kind of lost interest after about like an hour or two. You know, you unlock different guns and stuff like that, and you know, it gives some incentive for you know, to play through, but I don't know, it just, the voice acting is halfway good and halfway bad. I mean, there's one character that's just so bad. I think his name is Ishii, or something like that, and it totally just took me out of the experience. It's just the language is just really over the. I don't have a problem with language at all, but it just got to the point where it was like stupid. And, you know, I don't know, it just didn't really do it for me. Visually, though, the game is really good. It feels a little like Gears, but it's actually kind of funny. The cover system in Bulletstorm, I think, is just awful. You have to just hold down the left stick, and you can't really stay still, and like the second you release it, you kind of just jump off. I think it's funny that, you know, I think the Gears cover system is probably one of the best. That and Splinter Cell, which basically has the same cover system, is just awesome. And here, I found myself behind cover, but I kept like shaking back and forth, and I couldn't hold it down long enough so it'd shoot up. It was just, I don't know, it was just weird. But if you're looking for a really gory game, and this has it. I mean, it's pretty cool. Some of the kills, maybe I was a little harsh on them. Some of them are really cool. If you shoot somebody in like the throat, you know, the blood will shoot out, like, you know, like a faucet or a fountain, whatever. It's very over the top, and I definitely commend it for that. All too often now, games just take itself too seriously, but it just kind of, like, the language just was kind of just too much, and it just made it's just like stupid cursing. It's just cursing just to curse. I never really liked that in any type of media or, you know, entertainment. But you know, a lot of people are definitely gonna like this. It's definitely it's fun, but just it didn't hold my interest. And with the other types of games that are out there now, or at least coming out, or I haven't played yet, Bulletstorm definitely didn't live up to what I thought it was going to be. And I don't think it lived up to the hype that it surrounded it. But I think a lot of that just comes from the studio that created it. If when you make Gears of War, any game that you make is now, you know, the bar is set higher. So I think they succeeded in doing something different, and I think a lot of people will like this, but it just wasn't really for me. I just think that there's other shooters out there that I would prefer to play right now over Bulletstorm. Alright guys, so that's the first episode of Game Talk. You know, I covered Marvel vs. Capcom and Bulletstorm, and I hope you guys liked this approach. I'm really trying to figure out something new to do for my channel. After 3 years of being on here, I'm kind of running out of ideas, especially with the lack of game buying. So if you like this, or have any games that you want me to maybe cover in a future episode, then please, by all means, just leave a comment or PM me, or whatever you want to do to get in contact with me. And if you have Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on the Xbox 360 and you want to play with me, just shoot me a PM and I'll send you my my gamer tag, which actually you can find on my page. So guys, if you like this, again, just, you know, hit the like button, or, you know, do whatever you have to do. If you haven't subscribed to me, please subscribe, and just give me some feedback on the episode. So I'll see you guys on the next episode, whenever that is, probably next week sometime. So I'll see you guys soon.